Fathers, how did your child change your life forever? My 6-year-old son came home from kindergarten and asked if I knew mommy was sick. Not physically sick, brain sick, he said. Mrs. Lois told him some grown-ups have brain sickness that makes them mean to kids. I was confused. My wife seemed fine to me, a little stressed with her new job, but fine. What did you tell Mrs. Lois about mommy? I asked carefully. About the basement game and the red marks on my arms. My stomach dropped. What basement game? What red marks? That evening, I examined Stewie's arms under better light. Faint, finger-shaped bruises, almost healed. When I asked him about them, he shrugged. Mommy squeezes too hard when we play the quiet game downstairs. I'd never heard of any quiet game. Our basement was just storage and my workshop. What's the quiet game, buddy? When mommy gets really mad, we go downstairs and I have to be completely silent for a really long time. If I make noise, she squeezes. I felt sick. How long is a really long time? Sometimes until you come home from work. My wife had been locking our son in the basement for hours as punishment. I started paying closer attention. The next morning, I noticed Stewie flinch when my wife reached for his backpack. At breakfast, he ate in complete silence, constantly glancing at her face. When she dropped a plate and cursed loudly, he immediately started shaking. These weren't normal kid behaviors. This was fear. I called in sick the next day and hid in my car outside Stewie's school. When the principal called my wife about Stewie's concerning statements, I watched her speed into the parking lot, face furious. She slammed her car door so hard the windows rattled. I'd never seen her this angry before. I followed her into the building and heard everything from the hallway. Stewie has an overactive imagination, she told the principal. He makes up stories for attention. Mrs. Williams, he has bruises consistent with grip marks, and he described isolation punishment in detail. He bruises easily, and sometimes children need quiet time to think about their behavior. The principal's voice got firm. Ma'am, what you're describing is child abuse. My wife exploded. Don't you dare lecture me about raising my child. I was disciplined as a child, and I turned out fine. Locking a 6-year-old in a basement for hours isn't discipline. It's torture. I walked into the office at that moment. My wife's face went white. How long have you been doing this to our son? I asked quietly. It's not what it sounds like. Stewie exaggerates everything. I knelt down to Stewie's level. Buddy, can you show me where the red marks came from? He pointed to his upper arms. Right here. When mommy gets the angry face. The principal was already reaching for her phone. I'm calling Child Protective Services. My wife grabbed Stewie's hand. We're leaving. Now. No, I said, stepping between them. Stewie stays with me. You can't keep my son from me. Watch me. CPS arrived within an hour. They photographed Stewie's arms, interviewed him separately, and placed him in protective custody with me pending investigation. The home inspection found a chair in our basement, positioned facing the wall, with scratch marks on the concrete from tiny fingernails. The CPS worker also discovered Stewie had been hoarding crackers in his bedroom, a classic sign of food insecurity and control. My wife was arrested that afternoon. The neighbors told police they'd heard crying from our basement multiple times, but thought it was just normal kid tantrums. During the custody hearing, Stewie testified to the judge. When asked what he wanted, he said, I want to live with daddy where I don't have to play the quiet game anymore. My wife lost all unsupervised visitation rights. Her own mother testified against her, saying she'd suspected something was wrong but was too afraid to speak up. Stewie's teacher told me later that she'd never seen a child's personality change so dramatically once they felt safe. He went from silent and withdrawn to laughing and playing with other kids again. That's how my son's courage to speak up saved himself and opened my eyes to the monster I'd been married to.